Justin Bieber's 15 years with Diddy.
I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot. But
Get ready to dive into the untold story of Justin Bieber's 15 years with the man who changed his life, Sean "Diddy" Combs. You've heard the hits, seen the headlines, but what really went down behind the scenes? This is more than just a mentorship. It's a journey filled with twists and turns that will leave you speechless. From the bright lights of stardom to the shadows of controversy, we're pulling back the curtain on a relationship that shaped an era. So buckle up and hold on tight as we take you on a ride through the highs and lows of Bieber's time with Diddy. You won't want to miss this. The rise of a mentor. In November 2009, the music scene was abuzz with the emergence of a youthful singer named Justin Bieber. At merely 15 years old, he had already won over millions with his emotive singing and irresistible charisma. However, behind the curtain, another prominent figure was present, Sean "Diddy" Combs, a hip-hop giant whose impact stretched well beyond his own recordings. Diddy assumed a guiding role for Bieber during these early years, an action that would interconnect their destinies in unforeseen ways. The mentorship started with a YouTube clip where Diddy joyfully stated, "I have been given custody of him." This statement was not just a light-hearted joke. It symbolized Diddy's aim to steer Bieber through the perilous landscape of celebrity status. You ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, Justin is having 48 hours with Diddy, he added, presenting their time together as an exhilarating journey. The enthusiasm in Diddy's tone was evident as he described what it meant to be young and renowned, replete with celebrations, allure, and prospects. As they spent time together, Diddy inquired about Bieber's aspirations. The young man's candid reply, "Let's just go get some girls," was greeted with amusement from Diddy, who responded, "Man after my heart." This interaction, while seemingly carefree, suggested the ambiguous nature of their connection. Diddy's guidance came with an implicit acceptance of the lifestyle that came with stardom, a sphere where limits were frequently challenged. However, beneath the surface of this mentorship was a more intricate dynamic. Diddy had been pivotal in molding Usher's career, and now he was trying to replicate that success for Bieber. Nevertheless, as time went on, their bond started to evolve. The initial thrill waned into a more convoluted relationship, characterized by estrangement and misinterpretations. In 2010, Diddy voiced his irritation over Justin's diminished communication. "Everything's good? Selling out arenas and everything? Starting to act different, huh?" he jested in a video that depicted their reunion. This instance captured not only their personal interaction, but also underscored the pressures of celebrity that could strain even the most intimate relationships. As Bieber's fame continued to soar, so did the scrutiny surrounding his mentors. The once acclaimed moments shared with Diddy began to assume new interpretations in light of recent allegations against the music executive. What had initially been an exhilarating journey into stardom now seemed like a cautionary narrative, a reminder that not all mentorships are equal. The shadow of allegations. Leaping forward to September 2024, Sean "Diddy" Combs finds himself in the midst of a tempest unlike any he has faced in his illustrious career. Detained on charges encompassing racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking, the music executive confronts allegations that span several decades and expose a more sinister facet of his domain. As reports emerge about these grave accusations, discussions about his previous relationships, particularly with young celebrities like Justin Bieber, gain momentum. The indictment presents a distressing image. Combs allegedly used his authority and sway to exploit susceptible individuals for personal pleasure. The U.S. District Court for the Southern District of New York outlined how Combs allegedly coordinated illicit activities through his expansive business empire. For many who have tracked his career, this disclosure feels like a breach of trust, a jarring divergence from the charismatic persona who once guided Bieber. As clips of Combs and Bieber re-emerge on the internet, devotees grapple with conflicting sentiments. One clip shows Combs bragging about having legal guardianship over Bieber during their time together, a statement that now draws skepticism in light of the ongoing allegations against him. Observers watch in astonishment as they observe a youthful Bieber chuckling alongside Diddy, oblivious to the fact that this seemingly harmless mentorship would later be examined under such grave conditions. The entertainment sector is replete with narratives of exploitation and mistreatment. However, this scenario feels especially poignant given Bieber's tender age at the time. Numerous individuals ponder what impact Combs truly had on him during those developmental years, and whether he observed any concerning actions firsthand. Bieber's reaction to Combs' arrest. As the news of Sean "Diddy" Combs' arrest on grave charges of sex trafficking and racketeering echoed through the entertainment sphere, Justin Bieber found himself confronting a whirlwind of emotions. Once regarded as a protege and companion, Bieber's connection with Diddy has turned into a source of profound unease and remorse. Reports suggest that the pop star is deeply disturbed by the accusations against his former guide, prompting him to distance himself from the controversy and contemplate his past experiences. In the days following Diddy's arrest, footage from their time together resurfaced, sparking conversations about the essence of their relationship. One particularly unsettling clip shows a youthful Bieber, then merely 15 years old, spending time with Diddy, who characterized their time together as a 15-year-old's dream. However, in light of the recent allegations, this seemingly innocent moment now feels marred. Fans and critics alike started to theorize about what Bieber might have encountered during his developmental years under Diddy's sway. Bieber's reticence on social media has not gone unnoticed. While he has avoided making any public comments about Diddy's legal issues, insiders disclose that he is grappling with the magnitude of the situation. Individuals close to him have suggested that he is reluctant to discuss the matter, choosing instead to concentrate on his family life after the birth of his first child. This choice to retreat conveys a great deal about the emotional distress he is enduring. In an emotive 2020 interview with Zane Lowe for Apple Music, Bieber articulated a wish to safeguard younger musicians like Billie Eilish from the harsh realities of the music industry. He reflected on his own tumultuous voyage through celebrity, revealing how overwhelming it was to be catapulted into the limelight at such a tender age. "I just want people to understand the psychology of why I potentially could have problems in my life," he confessed, alluding to the more somber facets of his ascent to stardom. These sentiments have gained new relevance in the wake of Diddy's arrest. Numerous devotees are drawing parallels between Bieber's past remarks and his relationship with Combs during his nascent career. The re-emergence of his comments about wanting to safeguard Eilish from adverse experiences resonates profoundly now that accusations against Diddy have come to light. It prompts inquiries about what Bieber may have observed or experienced during his time with Combs. The emotional burden of this scenario is intensified by the fact that Bieber has been spotted attending church services with his wife, Hailey Bieber, appearing visibly unsettled. Fans conveyed worry for his welfare as they observed his drained appearance in recent images. Messages inundated social media, with many advocates rallying behind him. "The world should have protected you," one fan penned, while another contributed, "Diddy is finally caught, you can rest." Bieber's emotional condition mirrors a more extensive sentiment among those who have followed his career closely. As further information surfaces about Diddy's alleged wrongdoing, particularly claims made by former colleagues and partners, Bieber's past collaborations with Combs are being examined more closely than ever before. Insiders report that he regrets collaborating with Diddy on his recent album, the Love album, Off the Grid, stating that had he been aware of these allegations at the time, he would never have engaged. This regret is further intensified by resurfaced footage showing Bieber being frisked by Diddy, a moment that many fans interpreted as an unsettling check for surveillance devices amid ongoing federal investigations into Combs' activities. The timing of these videos has led viewers to ponder whether Bieber was ever inappropriately swayed or exploited during their interactions. As Bieber navigates this intricate emotional terrain, it remains uncertain how he will address these issues publicly moving forward. His silence conveys a great deal. It implies not only astonishment, but also a necessity for self-protection as he prioritizes family life in this tumultuous period. In conclusion, Justin Bieber's response to Sean Combs' arrest encapsulates a deep sense of disturbance and regret. The once acclaimed mentorship now casts a long shadow over Bieber's past experiences in the music industry. As he continues to grapple with these revelations and their implications for his own journey, one thing remains clear. The dark undercurrents of fame can leave enduring scars on even the most luminous stars. Do you think Justin Bieber was aware of Diddy's alleged wrongdoing? Comment with yes or no. Usher's reaction to Combs' arrest. As Sean "Diddy" Combs confronts grave accusations of sex trafficking and racketeering, Usher Raymond IV finds himself in a delicate situation, contemplating a convoluted past entwined with the contentious magnate. The recent developments have prompted Usher to reassess his experiences during his developmental years under Diddy's mentorship, a connection that has now assumed a more somber tint in light of the current charges. Following Diddy's arrest, Usher's social media activity became a subject of conjecture. Shortly after the news emerged, his X account, formerly Twitter, was enigmatically cleared, leading many to ponder the implications of this digital erasure. While Usher later asserted that his account had been hacked, the timing provoked curiosity. Was this an effort to distance himself from the repercussions surrounding Diddy, or merely a coincidence? His jovial tweet, "Account got hacked and damn y'all ran with it. See you tonight at Intuit Dome," did little to dispel the speculation. Fans and media alike were left questioning whether Usher was genuinely indifferent to the scandal, or if he was meticulously managing his public image amidst a swirling tempest of controversy. Usher's past with Diddy is extensively documented. He moved in with him at merely 14 years old, a period he referred to as flavor camp. While this experience initially appeared to be a chance to learn from one of hip-hop's most prominent figures, Usher has since reflected on the disquieting facets of that lifestyle. In an open interview with Howard Stern in 2016, Usher characterized his time living with Diddy as wild and crazy, mentioning that there were very curious things taking place that he didn't fully comprehend at the time. His cautious choice of words suggested an awareness of the more somber aspects surrounding Diddy's sphere, a stark contrast to the alluring facade often shown to the public. The re-emergence of these interviews following Diddy's indictment has prompted fans to reassess Usher's past experiences. Many are now linking the dots between Usher's earlier reflections and the grave allegations against Combs. When asked whether he would permit his own children to attend one of Diddy's infamous gatherings, Usher's response was definitive. "Hell no." This statement highlights his recognition of potential perils within that environment, perils he may have observed or sensed during his own youth. Moreover, Usher's previous remarks about the music industry being saturated with sexual encounters add another dimension to this narrative. In earlier interviews, he recognized that being encircled by women and wild parties was part of the lifestyle he encountered while under Diddy's guidance. Now, as specifics about Diddy's alleged criminal activities surface, allegations involving manipulation and coercion, Usher's past experiences adopt a more ominous context. The emotional impact of these disclosures is perceptible for Usher, who has forged a successful career while negotiating the intricacies of fame. As he contemplates his time with Diddy, there is a clear sense of disillusionment and treachery. Numerous fans have conveyed their support for him during this tumultuous period, highlighting that he merits better than having been connected with someone confronting such grave accusations. In response to these events, it remains uncertain how Usher will publicly address his relationship with Diddy moving forward. While some celebrities have openly denounced Combs following his arrest, Usher has chosen a more prudent approach, possibly out of respect for their shared past or apprehension of further complicating his own narrative. As Sean Combs remains in custody without bail, confronting a multitude of grave charges that include racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking, Usher's contemplations act as both a cautionary story and a reminder that even those who ascend to great heights in the music industry can be impacted by its darker currents. The intricacies surrounding their relationship underscore not only personal challenges, but also wider issues within an industry that often values fame over security. Ultimately, as Usher navigates this challenging phase in his life, one thing is evident: the shadows cast by past mentors can persist long after their influence wanes. The emotional wounds left behind can mold not only individual careers but also how future generations handle mentorship and responsibility in an industry rife with danger. On a scale of 0, 5, how likely do you think it is that Justin Bieber and Usher were victims of Diddy's alleged abuse and exploitation? Comment with a number. The ongoing speculation. As Sean Diddy Combs confronts severe legal charges, including racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking, the repercussions of these allegations echo throughout Hollywood and beyond. Discussions about his past relationships, particularly with Justin Bieber, have intensified amid rampant conjecture regarding what these two celebrities genuinely shared during their time together. In light of recent events surrounding Combs' arrest, many devotees are left grappling with conflicting emotions. How could someone so influential plummet from grace so dramatically? What does this mean for young artists entering an industry teeming with complexities? Entertainment attorney Mitra Ahurayan underscores how rampant speculation often accompanies high-profile cases like this one. There's so much chatter, people are realizing they knew him to varying degrees. This recognition raises critical questions about responsibility within an industry that frequently turns a blind eye toward troubling behavior. For Justin Bieber specifically, The emotional burden is significant as he navigates being both a new father and someone who once admired Combs as a mentor. Sources indicate that, while he remains silent publicly regarding these allegations against Diddy, the emotional impact is substantial. Reports suggest he feels deeply disturbed by what has unfolded since their collaboration last year. As videos showcasing their interactions resurface online, each moment captured now viewed through an entirely different lens, the need for transparency becomes increasingly urgent within the broader entertainment culture. Bieber's silence speaks volumes. It suggests an internal struggle as he reconciles cherished memories shared alongside disquieting truths revealed since then. What does it mean when someone you admired becomes entangled in scandal? In discussions surrounding this ongoing situation, questions arise about potential witnesses being subpoenaed due to connections made over years spent working together. Will Usher be called upon given his close ties? What might emerge from further investigations into events surrounding those infamous parties hosted by Combs? As we reflect on these developments, the story continues unfolding, a reminder that even amidst glitz and glamour lies darkness, waiting just beneath surface-level perceptions held by fans eager for answers amidst uncertainty surrounding beloved figures' legacies within music history itself. Folks, that wraps up our deep dive into Justin Bieber's 15 years with Diddy. It's been a roller coaster, hasn't it? Now it's your turn to weigh in. What's your take on their journey together? And do you think Diddy deserves to face the music for his alleged actions? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to Iconic Inside, and click that bell so you never miss a beat on the stories behind the stars. See you next time for more 10 Most Evil Actors of Hollywood's Golden Age.
Well now, I expect you're all wondering why I asked you here.
Get ready to be shocked. Hollywood, the city of stars, hides a darker truth. Glittering facades conceal stories of deceit and manipulation by actors we idolize. Prepare to have your views shattered as we unveil the 10 most notorious actors who've left a sinister legacy on the silver screen. Fasten your seatbelts for a wild ride into Hollywood's past. Number 1. Kirk Douglas.
So if I do intimidate people, I'll just try not to in the future.
This man was not just an attractive face. Raised in a chaotic environment, Douglas sought comfort in the spotlight. Amidst a tumultuous family life, his enthusiasm for acting was ignited during his high school years, where he found his passion for performing on stage and the intricate web of controversy that would follow him throughout his career. Douglas's personal life was as complicated as the characters he portrayed on screen. His relationships and alleged affairs depicted a man caught between being a hero and a villain. It was his over-the-top personality that established him as one of Hollywood's most infamous figures. Regrettably, there were reports of him mistreating Natalie Wood. It is claimed that 15-year-old Wood was invited to Douglas's room, where she supposedly spent several hours before being abruptly sent away and warned not to disclose what happened. Though not confirmed, this story became public after Douglas's death. As social media was flooded with tributes to Wood, Douglas was criticized as a degenerate. The truth is still unclear now that both are deceased. The complete narrative may never be revealed. Some believe it was a made-up story attributed to various actors over time. However, Douglas wasn't perfect. He openly admitted to being perhaps the most unpopular actor in Hollywood, attributing it to his difficult upbringing. Even his co-star Burt Lancaster jokingly commented on his challenging nature. Douglas also admitted to unfaithfulness and was known for his controlling behavior on set. He famously fired the director of Spartacus after just 1 week and tried to control Stanley Kubrick during Paths of Glory. Despite this, these films ultimately achieved greatness. Number 2. Mickey Rooney.
That's more better.
The way Rooney acted in real life was very different from the nice characters he played in movies. People called him blisteringly bombastic, abrasive, nasty, curt, and rude. His behavior wasn't good, especially for those who worked with him a lot. Even after they finished filming, he kept acting unprofessionally, which made it hard to work with him.
This time I'm warning you! I am definitely this time going to call in the police!
When they were making the movie National Velvet in 1944, people criticized how Rooney treated Elizabeth Taylor. There were stories that he used her unfairly and later said he didn't know her, calling her entitled and saying she wasn't talented. After Rooney died, more stories came out about how he was mean to many people he worked with. This showed that Rooney wasn't like the friendly characters he played in movies, and that famous people from old Hollywood could be complicated. People criticized and disliked Rooney for many reasons: his rough behavior, self-centered attitude, and fights with people he worked with, directed, and fans. His personal life, filled with many marriages and divorces, money problems, and using too many substances, made his public image even worse. It was hard for Rooney to change from being a child actor to an adult actor, as some critics didn't think he could leave behind his young charm and be believable in more grown-up roles. Also, the way he played Asian characters, especially in Breakfast at Tiffany's, caused a lot of anger because it continued bad stereotypes and showed that he didn't understand or care about different races. Number 3, Faye Dunaway.
You know I love playing women who left their mark, who did everything.
In the dazzling world of Hollywood, where stars twinkle and dreams are woven, there exists a figure whose legacy is marked by stories of turmoil and contempt. Faye Dunaway, celebrated for her mesmerizing performances, also carved out a reputation as one of Hollywood's most difficult personalities. Reports circulated about Dunaway's sudden exit from the Broadway-bound play Tea at 5, accompanied by claims of physical confrontations and creating a hostile atmosphere. These rumors, it turned out, were true. A first-hand account from someone who worked with Dunaway on a project revealed a distressing event. Instead of simulating a slap during a scene, Dunaway allegedly hit this person across the cheek for real, highlighting the challenging environment on set. Broadway wig designer Paul Huntley, who collaborated with Dunaway in 1996, witnessed her erratic behavior. He remembered a time when Dunaway was unhappy with how hairpins were shown, which led to her hitting his assistant's hand. These stories give us a picture of a demanding and hard-to-please actress. Not only were there problems on set, but Dunaway's behavior away from the cameras also became part of Hollywood stories. The book Easy Riders, Raging Bulls says that while making Chinatown, Dunaway had strange habits like going to the bathroom in trash cans and not flushing toilets in her dressing room. The book also says that Dunaway once threw a cup of liquid, which was said to be urine, at director Roman Polanski when they disagreed. When asked about this, Dunaway said it was completely ridiculous and didn't want to talk about it.
It was an incredible moment. So I don't know what else to say about it.
Even actors who are known to be difficult were surprised by Dunaway's actions. James Woods, who acted with her in The Disappearance of Amy, told a story about her throwing something at him for making up a line. Even Bette Davis, who is famous for her strong personality, said Dunaway was one of the most challenging people in Hollywood when asked about it. Faye Dunaway's behavior on set and off camera has been described as erratic and difficult. Do you think her behavior was justified or not? Comment with yes or no. Number 4, Orson Welles.
What I've been investigated over and over again by the Americans,
Orson Welles, known for his innovative films like Citizen Kane, had a hidden, darker side. Conversations with his friend and director Henry Jaglom, recently found on old tapes, reveal a different side of the Hollywood star. In these private recordings, Welles was very open, calling Laurence Olivier dim-witted, Spencer Tracy vindictive, and Charlie Chaplin haughty. He also didn't like Bette Davis, saying he couldn't bear to watch her, and criticized James Stewart as not being a good actor. Even though Welles was very talented in movies, he had trouble with the movie studio's rules and often had money problems for his projects. Despite having limited resources, his determination led him to make films, and he stayed strong in his artistic vision. Welles's stories show how he worked with new talents like Marilyn Monroe, trying to support her before she became very famous. Even important people in Hollywood like Darryl Zanuck didn't think much of Monroe, thinking she was just an ordinary actress, something Welles saw a lot in Hollywood. He didn't like actresses like Bette Davis and Jennifer Jones, and his tapes had harsh words about their acting skills. He was very direct, saying Jennifer Jones was irredeemable and that he completely wrote off Bette Davis. Number 5, Errol Flynn. In 1909, Errol Flynn was born in Tasmania, and his childhood was far from typical. Growing up surrounded by the region's native animals like kangaroos and Tasmanian devils, Flynn's love for adventure began at a young age. However, he seemed to attract trouble wherever he went. At the age of 17, after being expelled from school, Flynn set off for New Guinea, where he tried his hand at various jobs, including diamond smuggling and pearl diving. It was in acting that he found his true passion. Eager to become famous, Flynn traveled to England, leaving behind a history of cunning schemes and daring adventures. His talent for trickery even got him into the Stratford-upon-Avon Festival. Seeing his potential, Warner Brothers quickly signed him up, starting Flynn's journey in Hollywood. During his time in the jungle, Flynn experienced a critical moment when he was involved in a terrifying ambush. Despite the turmoil, this event became the driving force behind his acting career. A film executive named Joel Schwartz saw Flynn's charisma and cast him as Fletcher Christian in the 1933 movie In the Wake of the Bounty. However, this marked just the start of his tumultuous path. In 1942, Flynn was accused of assault by young women, causing a media frenzy that damaged his reputation. Despite facing these challenges, Flynn's confidence remained strong even during the legal proceedings. In the end, he was acquitted, and Flynn's legacy represents both success and sorrow. His adventures, both on screen and off, established him as a Hollywood legend, but also exposed the darker aspects of fame and wealth. Number 6, Peter Sellers.
Well now, I expect you're all wondering why I asked you here.
In the classic comedies of Hollywood, Peter Sellers shone on screen as Inspector Clouseau in the Pink Panther series. However, behind the laughter and brilliance on screen was a troubled genius, making it difficult for director Blake Edwards to work with him. Peter was, to put it mildly, eccentric. He would talk to his deceased mother and carry a memorial for her wherever he went. Edwards, the creative mind behind the Pink Panther films, struggled with Sellers' unpredictable behavior. Sellers' mood swings and insecurities often clashed with Edwards' systematic approach, leading to chaos off camera. Sellers thought that his crazy antics were what made him creative, fearing that without such spontaneity the comedy would not be as good. His unorthodox methods often interrupted filming, leaving Edwards frustrated. There were times when they didn't speak to each other and communicated through their assistants instead. Despite their difficult relationship, their collaborations resulted in successful films at the box office, including 5 Pink Panther films and the 1968 classic The Party. On a scale of 0-5, how eccentric do you think Peter Sellers was? Comment with a number. Number 7, Milton Berle. This person was a trailblazer of his time, enchanting millions with his keen humor and irresistible charm. His weekly TV show became a cultural sensation, so impactful that businesses would stop working to make sure their customers didn't miss an episode. Every week, many viewers eagerly watched the crazy behavior of Uncle Milty. His fame reached such levels that at the height of his popularity, there were reports of fewer movie ticket sales and some places closing during his show to make sure people didn't miss any part of it. However, as time went on, Berle's star started to lose its shine. In a daring move, he was chosen to host Saturday Night Live, a decision that the show's creator, Lorne Michaels, was doubtful about. Even though people were unsure at first, Berle became the main act, but it turned out to be a disaster. He acted too much and didn't want to follow instructions, which surprised the people working with him. Kara Kovalich said he was one of the most challenging hosts because he always wanted to be in front of the camera and tried to control everything, which made a very bad SNL episode. After his not-so-good appearance on SNL, people started talking about how Berle was arrogant and thought he was very important. Even though he was one of the first big stars on TV, he didn't always behave well behind the scenes. Number 8, Wallace Beery. Even though people thought Wallace Beery was a kind person because of what the movie studios said, the truth was very different, as told by other actors and the people who worked with him. Unlike the nice person he played in movies, Beery was not nice to the people he worked with, especially young actors. There were stories about him being mean and even hurting young actors like Mickey Rooney, which showed a not-so-nice side of Hollywood's golden age. Even though Mickey Rooney was treated badly by Beery, he still liked him, which shows that their relationship was complicated. Rooney's feelings help us understand what it was like to work with Beery. At the same time, Gloria Swanson's first meeting with Beery shows the uncomfortable power relationships in Hollywood. Even though they were very different ages and Swanson didn't feel good about it, Beery had a big effect on how they talked to each other. Wallace Beery's behavior when he wasn't acting was very different from the fancy Hollywood life, and he wasn't nice-looking or friendly, even to the people who were close to him. Swanson's dislike shows the big difference between how Beery seemed in public and who he really was in private. Number 9, Bing Crosby. The actor is not only famous for his legendary voice and timeless classics like White Christmas, he's also a figure shrouded in mystery and controversy, especially regarding his family life. At first glance, Bing Crosby seemed to represent charm and charisma. However, behind the scenes, his relationship with his children tells a different story. Bing led a busy life balancing movies, radio shows, and music commitments. His son, Gary Crosby, once revealed how Bing was rarely there during their childhood. Bing was afraid that his children would fall into the typical Hollywood lifestyle, further alienating them. His obsession with protecting them from the allure of Tinseltown ultimately strained their relationship. It wasn't until his second marriage that Bing seemed to re-evaluate his role as a father, but he still had trouble showing his feelings. Even though Bing Crosby was a famous person, his personal life had flaws. The sad death of his son Lindsay and his problems with drinking showed the darker side of being famous. Bing Crosby always seemed strong and quiet. Even when he was on a golf course in 1977, as Nathaniel Crosby remembered, Bing was quiet and cared more about playing a good game of golf than showing his emotions. Number 10, Henry Fonda. For over 50 years, Henry Fonda was loved by people as the perfect example of American goodness in movies. From showing the life of a poor worker in The Grapes of Wrath to his interesting part in 12 Angry Men, Fonda was like the nice, normal person from Hollywood. But behind the image of the all-American hero was a sad and worried private life, shown in a new book. The writer Darwin Porter tells us about the secret side of Fonda's life away from acting, showing him as a not-so-good husband and dad. Unlike what people thought, Fonda only thought about himself, didn't like showing feelings, and wasn't as nice as he seemed in movies. The book also tells us that Fonda cheated in 4 out of his 5 marriages. Yes, you read that right. Henry Fonda, who seemed to have old-fashioned American values on screen, lived a life that was very different from those values. Fonda's personal life included many relationships with famous actresses like Joan Crawford, Marlene Dietrich, and Barbara Stanwyck. His long-lasting love for Lucille Ball was thought to be the best part of his love life, but he still cheated during most of his marriages. Even though he seemed like a loving father in movies, Fonda's kids, Jane and Peter, often felt ignored by him. Starting with a rough time with actress Margaret Sullivan, who didn't like how he was in private, to later problems in his marriages and affairs that led to divorces, Fonda's personal life was not like a happy Hollywood story. Sullivan's problems with her mind and her sad end also made Fonda's relationship seem even sadder. We've explored the darker sides of Hollywood's golden age actors. Remember, fame isn't all glitz and glamour. It's about resilience and character. What life lessons can we learn from these stories? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more intriguing tales. See you next time on Iconic Inside.